Chapter 3. Perhaps now is a good moment to cut away from the scene of the vicar and me walking back to the studio and, in the best tradition of television films, to use this moment to capture the key moments in Billy G's past. Bonobos at AOL.com emailed me asking to know more about my super fandom for Billy G. Seems there's about as much privacy in telling this story as standing stark naked in the middle of Piccadilly Circus, something that I have done on more than one occasion. So, here goes. Punk's Billy G Fact File. Scene number 1, and the story's just begun. Roll her over, lay me down and do it again, do it again. Roll me over in the clover. Roll me over, lay me down and do it again, do it again. We start in the basement of the Grand Hotel in Manchester, where Billy G and the G-Strings, as they were then called, had somehow got a twice-weekly slot. Billy G had bright orange hair, and in the audience a young 17-year-old, probably spotty, Punk Sanderson is wondering if it's true that she always dyed her pubic hair the same colour as the rest of her hair, and was she really wearing a G-string? Well, these are the sort of things that are important to 17-year-old boys. Next to me is a tall, beautiful, leggy blonde Swedish language student, scantily clad in little more than a bikini, looking lovely into my eyes and hanging on my every word. Or perhaps not. Billy G is on stage, pausing between numbers to tell one of her riotous stories about a polite convent education, saying such things as, "I'm a nice girl, I am. I look very smart in the uniform. It's just that I always wore a G-string where my regulation knickers should have been." And then she launched into a slogan, "Go, go, G-strings," before starting the next song. It might have been any one of a number of unreleased classics, such as Green Spiky Hair, memorable for its opening line, "Woke up this morning and threw up on the bed," or the provocative, "Look, don't touch, rich man slut." Particularly apt when you're a 17-year-old with nothing but loose change and wishful thinking in your pockets. The first 3 or 4 rows was always filled with hardcore followers, the G-Stringers, a group of big, tough, leather-clad lesbians, pretty intimidating and exotic to a young snotty-nosed boy, which is why I was always found at the back, banging my head against the low ceiling. Scene number 2, and my hand is on the shoe. Roll her over, lay me down and do it again, do it again. Roll her over in the clover. Roll her over, lay you down and do it again, do it again. Cut, very professionally, with my dreams of a Swedish blonde fading into the background, to a smart terraced house in King's Road in London, plastered with slogans such as "Sign Billy G" and "Billy G's the greatest" and other unsubtle graffiti. The story goes that the G-Stringers had decided to daub the house of Chris Blackwell, the owner of Island Records, with Billy G graffiti to encourage him to sign her. Unfortunately, they got the right address, 70 Kings Road, but the wrong Kings Road. The house they daubed actually belonged to Richard Breamore, a very wealthy lawyer who at this stage had nothing to do with the music business. He was intrigued to find out the reason for the graffiti after, no doubt, trying to sue the brown stuff out of anyone that he thought was involved. And, to cut a short story even shorter, this is how he first met Billy G. Entered into the music business, became her manager, brought her and Emma B together as the founding members of Tits and Arse, what a great name that is, and moved towards his now current legendary status. And now, our third and final flashback. Sing along, I think you should know the tune by now. A lassie number 3, and my hand is on the knee. Roll her over, lay you down and do it again, do it again. When it's over, in the clover, she'll knee you in the groin and leave you doubled over in a pathetic heat, moaning in excruciating pain. Doesn't quite scan, does it? Oh well. Suggestions on an email, please. We returned to the Grand Hotel in Manchester and the small local launch of their first single, which became prime-time national TV due to the phantasmagorical way that the girls arrived at the press conference. The girls apparently jumped onto the huge ornate chandelier, which hangs 8 floors up, right in the centre of the stairwell. A terror-fucking 5 pairs of underpants leaped from the top of the banister. I've tried it. And they got a friend to lower the chandelier all the way to the ground as their single was played on the PA. The first that the press saw of them were 2 mad girls with grins like 2 Cheshire cats, posing provocatively and descending from the heavens on a seemingly diamond-encrusted chandelier. I mean, even Marilyn Monroe could not have conjured such an entrance. The other 2 band members greeted them at the bottom, showing that even at this early stage, there was a strict hierarchy in the band. Breamore had no doubt arranged that the event was perfectly timed to make all the papers and TV stations. The rest, as they say, is history. Enough. This flashback stuff may well work on films, but it's high time that I'll get out my blowtorch and unfreeze our heroes and set them back into the studio to do battle once again with the blue-haired booby bird and the forces of the evil empire. This time, the vicar was in no mood to be patient, although he asked his first question, "In which of the studios will I find Billy G?" in the same patient, gracious tones he always used. When the answer was not immediately forthcoming, he added simply, "Are you willing to be responsible for the repercussions of your failure to allow me to help Billy G? If so, I leave everything in your capable hands." The BHBB quietly raised 2 fingers. "Stuck together, you perverts," meaning Studio 2, not fuck you. And gestured in the direction of the studio, which was on her right. She then looked away as if she had other far more important things to be doing. "I thank you, madam," the vicar said with a smile as he waved me through the heavy metal door with a large 2 over it. The studio was laid out very differently to the ones at Real World. The whole wall on the left was given over to electronic keyboards and on neat sloping pine shelves. We'd entered through the back door, and between us and the mixing console was a large pine bar with a 10-seater, or so it seemed, cream sofa and 2 equally vast easy chairs. The vicar could not resist giving the evil eye to the television mounted on the wall showing the obligatory MTV clips as he marched round to the other side of the bar, which was, of course, an equipment rack stuffed with sound processing gear and not a drinks cabinet, silly me. 2 people slumped on the console at the front of the room drifted into view. He walked up and introduced himself. "Good evening. I am the vicar," pronounced in the same time-honoured way. "A friend in need. I'm sorry to intrude, and you must, I assume, be the famous Billy G. I am honoured to meet you." The lighting was really very dim, but one of the 2 faceless people at the mixing desk had bright dyed hair, and it was to her that he addressed himself. As the other one was a man, it was not a difficult piece of detective work. More on the famous Billy G next time on Punk TV. You can piss off right out of here, right now. You come in here with your la-di-da, friend of Richard Bloody Bream or accent and accuse me of singing flatter than that. She was lost for a suitable comparison. Squashed, chapati, no one can sing that badly. Flash, but not one of those really expensive sports cars that I used to pin up on the wall and salivate over. Salivate, not masturbate, you perverts. Whoever heard of someone masturbating over a car? Except Jeremy Clarkson, perhaps.